Oh no. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh. I forgot to plug in my microphone, y'all. All right, let me see if I can fix that real quick. Audio. Oh, okay. I fixed it. Let me see if it's working. All right, testing 1, 2, 3. I hope my microphone is working because I just plugged it in. Looks like it is. Okay, let me make sure my stream is set up correctly. All right. Okay, got that fixed. Oh my gosh. Right when I want to go live. Right when I want to go live. Okay, let me see what she wants, y'all. My daughter's calling me. All right. I just had to talk to my daughter real quick. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the topic in today's video. I'm gonna wait a little bit to see how many people show up for this live. Before I get started, I probably wait like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, give or take, to talk about it because I want to talk about it and I don't want to be talking to nobody. So, yeah, let's wait a little bit to talk about this subject because I usually don't like to talk about celebrities and what's going on in the world, and I usually stay away from subjects like that. Mainly because I don't like jumping on hype and jumping on waves and jumping on trends. I've always felt like, okay, if I'm gonna do something, I want it to just be authentic. However, this is something that hits home for me. So I want to talk about it and I want to get into it. So that's what I want to talk about today. So yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit, see how many people join. I have 2 people in the room thus far. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. Let's talk about it. I want to talk about today the situation between Halle Bailey and DDG. There's some new information that just came out after she filed a restraining order or a protection order and motioned for full custody of Halo. Now her baby's father is coming in and filing an emergency motion stating that basically Halle is mentally unstable and that she is crazy, basically, and that he believes she's a danger to their son. And he's also quote unquote filing for full custody of Halo, which is crazy. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy because, like, that's a baby. okay? That's a baby. That baby don't want to be with you full time. I don't know if you noticed. That baby wants his mama. So that don't even make sense. At his age, filing for full custody and then him, like, that don't even make sense. So you just know the way that he's thinking is completely, like, he's filing for an emergency motion because he's trying to hurry up and do something to go against what she fought. Like, it's a lot and it hits home. Dream Yin is here and she says, very disappointed in them as a whole, especially because they aren't many locks celebrities. Obviously, they have to choose what's best for them, but still. When you say locks celebrities, do you mean like celebrities who have locks? Is that what you mean? I would say there's not a lot of women who are celebrities with locks. For men, it's different because natural hair is accepted for men in the Black community, but it's not accepted for women, especially locks. I feel like she was just experienced postpartum, referring to their screenshots, just tired and frustrated. Okay, so yeah, let's get into it. Okay. I want to talk about their situation, and I also want to get into what to do when a man cheats, when you are experiencing this type of energy with a man, because it's very clear to me that DGG is narcissistic, 1000%. I see it written all over the way that, like, he talks to her, and even in the motions that he's trying to file against her saying that she's crazy. That is just typical. It's typical narcissism. But what I want to get into is, like, there's so many women, Black women in specific, who are going through this or who have gone through this. And I did not go through this exact specific thing, because I guess I was a little bit more smarter about the way that I moved, in regards to my situation, um, because once I realized that I was dealing with someone who was like completely out of it. And when I say completely out of it, like, when I realized I was dealing with a narcissist, I immediately and instinctually knew that I cannot give this man any power, because he's going to try to use it against me. He's going to abuse it. It's just in his energy, it's in everything about him, right? So, okay. So Halle Bailey and DDG. Okay, DDG. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, so that you guys can see what I saw. I'm gonna go here. So basically, DDG files motion to stop Halle Bailey from taking their son Halo abroad. The rapper is claiming the mother of his child poses an imminent emotional and psychological risk to the child. DDG and Halle Bailey's relationship has been experiencing. Okay, we're not even going to read that dumb explanation. He is claiming Halle poses an imminent emotional and psychological risk to the child. And basically, he's also trying to say that Halle is actually the one who initiates the physical abuse, right? Like, basically he's trying to say that she started whatever altercation that they had, that she started it. And he posted like this little scratch on his finger. I'm gonna see if I can find that picture. um, but basically DDG also cited multiple alleged events that would support his claims. In the motion, he said when Halle was pregnant, she allegedly took his gun and left the house without telling him where she was going. He eventually found her outside holding the weapon, and it remained unused by her. DGG also claimed the Little Mermaid actress tried to have an abortion behind his back, but did not go through with it. Okay, so everything he's explaining is completely out of context. Like in Hallie's protection order, everything was within context. The stories were like the story she was telling made sense because it was contextual. She gave references to why certain things were happening when they were happening. Um, when they had the altercation in the car, right? She let us know like what was going on in the conversation that led to the altercation. She let us know like the way that he's been acting like over a longer period of time. Um Everything that she explained was in context. What he's explaining is out of context, meaning like she took a gun and left the house without telling him where she was going. Okay, that like what happened? What happened for her to want to take a gun and leave the house without you telling him? Because her taking a gun and leaving the house without telling you, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, she's not licensed to carry. I don't know if she's licensed to carry or not, but you have a gun that you walk around and tote around that you leave the house with every day. So, what's wrong with her having a gun and leaving the house without telling you? I mean, taking your gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the problem with that? And that's where, it doesn't make sense because he's just saying, oh, she took the gun and left the house. No context. He found her outside holding the gun. It was unused. Okay, still out of context. Okay, that we don't even know what was happening. DDG also claims the Little Mermaid actress tried to have an abortion behind his back but did not go through with it. She's in the right to do whatever the fuck she wants to do with her body. Excuse my French. Okay, so she wanted to go and have an abortion. Whether she wanted to tell you or not is none of your business because you didn't marry her. Y'all aren't married. So she's not obligated to tell you anything, you weirdo. Like, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm getting emotional. But this hits home for me because it's aggravating how much these men, especially Black men, think that they're so entitled to everything about Black women. She has no reason to be telling you about anything she does. She has the right to go and get an abortion and not go, and she also has the right to not go through with it if she doesn't want to. And she also has the right to not tell your ass. Okay? That's within her rights because you're not married. Okay? You didn't marry her. So, yeah, we're going to move on from that. The rapper added Hallie once sent a series of alarming text messages threatening to kill herself and suggesting that their infant son Halo might also be harmed. Okay. Allegations of negative behavior have come from both sides of the former relationships. The Chloe Hallie member was granted a temporary restraining order against DDG last month after accusing him of physical abuse. In an incident with photos including in her complaint, she alleged DDG once slammed her face on the steering wheel, chipped her tooth while he came to pick up Halo, right? I know about that if y'all haven't heard about that. So yeah, she addressed her Italy travel plans in her complaint, which was approved on May 15th. I have family and a nanny who will be traveling with me to care for Halo while I'm working. Mind you, she's finna go film a movie with, I heard, the star of the first season of Bridgerton, the guy from the first season of Bridgerton. So, you know what I'm saying? She's living her life. Okay, so that's what I have to say about that. But now we're going to move on to these text messages. Let me see. I'm going to share this tab. All right, so these are the text messages that he's saying that she's mentally unstable and shouldn't have custody of her son. This, like, it's really pathetic. But anyways, okay. So let's look at the text messages from Hallie. This is in March 21st of 2024. So this is last year around this time of the year. Okay, so she said, "This is proof. You leave me hanging as a mother. You don't step up when I need you." She's not spelling stuff right, so she's clearly upset, very upset. "I'm begging you. I just found out you slept with Lala in Mexico. I'm going to off myself tonight. My son will not be around for it. I hate you forever. You can have him and let her be his mom." So clearly, if you have any ounce of emotional intelligence, which a lot of people, I would say men, of DDG's caliber, we're not going to be talking about the actual men, okay? But men like DDG, zero emotional intelligence, they're interpreting this as crazy, right? As deranged. But when you're emotionally intelligent, you can clearly tell that she's like, when you are emotional, when you are highly emotional, you're going to express it as anger. And anger always looks crazy. I don't know if you know this. Anger always looks crazy. And people tend to get angry when you betray them. People tend to get angry when you cheat on them. I don't know what you would expect from someone who just got cheated on, okay? And see, this is what I'm going to get into in a little bit, of like exactly how to respond in situations like this, because this is what narcissism looks like. This is what narcissistic men do. They love when you give them emotional reactions, because that's what they feed on. This is their supply, is your emotional reaction to things that they do. The evil and heinous things that they do. Cheating is, to me, evil and heinous, because you are intentionally choosing to break someone's trust, break someone's self-esteem. Like, you're choosing to break someone down spiritually, emotionally, by cheating on them. And then he says, you can see in his messages, he's like, "I can't believe you're acting like this." That's crazy. Like, how do you cheat on someone and then not believe that they're responding this way? I don't get it. Okay, she says, "You put your ding-a-ling inside of her in Mexico. Answer the phone." She's clearly calling him like crazy. "Answer the phone. I'm going to try one more time. If you don't answer, it's over forever. I'm not playing, Daryl." That's it. And then he goes, okay, I don't know if y'all can see this because it's kind of small for me. I'm gonna zoom in. "I just want to be alone, left alone, please. Look at Daryl. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone." Like, oh my goodness. So now he just wants to be left alone after he cheated on her and she found out. He can't handle her response. She says, "I'm calling for help. I have a knife. I'm calling for help. But why don't you care? Wait, but why don't care, do you?" Okay, see, she's like clearly breaking down. And she's hurt because she feels like he doesn't care. She feels, and I'm not even going to say she feels like, she's realizing how much he doesn't care about her. Like, she's realizing that he's a horrible person, right? Like, just, "I hate you. You're the most horrible person I've ever met. I wish I didn't have to fight with you, but you continue to let me down every time." And ran so about exchanging my son in a money deal for views. Wow. So yeah, I mean, we already know yeah, what he basically does on camera with his son, using him for views and things like that, and openly flirt about help every other woman in the world but me. Okay, I don't really know what she's saying there, but you hate me and want me to die. Okay, this is the thing. Like, when you're not emotionally intelligent, like, this is what a spiritual attack looks like. This is what a spiritual attack looks like from a narcissistic man. I want to die because of you. I will die because of you. Okay? I just thought, okay, so this is looks like a different time, or actually it's close to around the same time. Then she says, I just thought we do what I wanted to do today since it's Mother Day, but if you really want to go, you can. I'll just go home and pack. So this is around all around the same time. She's like out of it, right? And this is what y'all need to understand. A spiritual attack from a narcissistic man, literally it has you feeling like this man is out to get you. Like something is out to get you because he's sending you the evil eye times 1000 because you're sleeping with this man. So you have a soul tie with him, and he's the closest person to you, and he's sending you all of this evil eye energy, jealousy, hatred, spite. And she was being spiritually attacked. Like, this is clear as day to me. But idiotic people who have never, maybe women who have never been through anything like this and haven't learned anything from it, or whatever the case. But you can see what he says right here. If you don't come back here, I'm going to call the police. I don't want you to do something stupid. Oh, look, now he's going to call the police on her. This is what narcissistic men do. They love it when you go crazy because now they can say and give up like supporting evidence as to why they treat you the way that they do. They're going to say that you're the deranged one. He said, I'm going to give it 5 minutes. You have a son. I know you took my gun. That gun has no safety. Okay, so I don't know if this was the time that she took his gun or whatever like that, but it's very possible that she was contemplating like offing herself. That's very possible. Okay. So this is what spiritual attacks look like, y'all. And the reason why this hit home for me so much is because when I was going through what I went through with in the narcissistic relationship I was in, I started having full-blown panic attacks. I mean, full-blown panic attacks to the point where I would literally hear somebody telling me in my head that they wanted me to die. Die, die. Like, I remember that vividly, and I never told anybody about it, but that shit was real. And it stuck with me, right? If anybody's ever experienced extreme panic attacks, I'm not talking about the baby. Oh Lord. Sorry, I gotta secure this. It was a little unstable before I started it. I thought I fixed it. But if anybody's ever experienced like a full-blown panic attack, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. When you have a panic attack, you feel it's like the worst feeling. I would never wish it on anybody. But I was experiencing panic attacks for years. Years. It wasn't just a one-time thing. I had a panic attack, and then I never felt the same after that. It was like my spirit was disturbed. And this was ongoing for almost 3 years or longer. Okay, it wasn't until I started healing, like actually like physically healing my body and going through chiropractic therapy, um, and also cutting and severing ties with that relationship for good. And not only that relationship, but anybody who was tied to that relationship, completely cutting that off for good. It wasn't until I started standing up for myself. It didn't have to be him, right? Because 9 times out of 10, if you're putting up with narcissistic abuse from a man, there's other things going on in your world that you're putting up with. I had to stand up for myself 100%. I had to stand in my power, and anybody who was treating me less than what I knew I deserved to be treated as got the boot. They got my voice. If they didn't get the boot, they got my voice. Because there was a period in my life when I was going through that with this man, that my voice started to shrink. I would be having conversations. I remember with a very like dear friend of mine, a Taurus woman. She was old. She is older than me, so I looked up to her. Um, and I remember we were having a conversation, and she was like, "Honey, I'm gonna need you to speak a little stronger. Like, I'm gonna need you to use your voice because everything I was saying was so timid, almost like I didn't deserve to be heard, like I didn't deserve to be seen." And I had never noticed that about myself until she brought that up. My Taurus sister, I love Taurus women. She let me know that I had some things in my throat that I needed to get out. And so I had to go on a journey, a long journey of healing. So this is why I'm telling y'all, this hits home. And not only does it hit home, I've seen so many other Black women go through this exact same thing. And it's like, where is the justice? Where is the justice? I don't want to keep seeing this. This is not what I want to keep seeing as like something that Black women experience innocently and naively. Somebody's got to let young Black women know, women in general, okay, that what this is going on and exactly how to protect themselves from these types of things. So yeah, the spiritual attack is real. Dream Yen says he's trying so hard to break her spirit. I hope she doesn't let him break her. I don't believe that she will. She's an Aries woman. I mean, Aries women are similar to Scorpio women, which is, well, I'm a Scorpio woman. I don't see her being broken. I see her becoming much stronger from this situation. And I see this situation being an example to Black women who are ready to hold themselves to a higher standard, to a higher level of elegance, and, things like that. Brianna says that's why they call it MAD. All right, I hear my daughter, so she's probably going to come knock on the door, and then I'll come back on. So, he was sending her spiritual attacks, and that's what narcissistic men do, unfortunately. And I know that that was exactly what he was doing because I went through it. And when I went through that, my final straw, because I didn't, the interesting part about my relationship was that I was only with him actively for maybe 4 or 5 months. And within that time frame, I got pregnant. And then I left. I left and I moved completely across the country, but I still stayed in contact. I still stayed in contact. I was still engaged with him. I was still trying to see if we could remedy something, if we could co-parent, whatever the case. Nothing worked. Nothing worked because when a man is sick in the mind and he's broken and he has mommy issues and all these different things, and especially when he thinks like the way like most of these Black men think, like it's there's nothing I can do for you, sir. There's nothing I can do for this to work other than lower my standards, compromise my dignity, compromise my self-respect, belittle myself, make myself small. Like literally the only way I can be around you is if I eliminate who I truly am and cower to you. That's the only way. And I'm not going to do that, because if I do that, I'm not going to be living a good life. I'm not going to be living a healthy life at all. There were moments where I was feeling like if I continued engaging with this man, like literally like I didn't know how long I was going to be around. Like those were the types of visions that I started having. I'm like, if I continue with this man, I'm not going to be here for too long. And that wasn't going to happen, like not on my watch. And that's where you get to a point where you're like, I'm done. I'm done with you, everything that has to do with you, anybody who's still engaged with you. I don't care who you think you are in my life. I don't care what the rights you claim to have, over my child. Like you're not fit. You are unfit. And who qualifies a man to be fit? To be a father, to be a man? It's the woman. It's the woman. And yeah. So when you find out, right, for Halle Bailey, like finding out that DDG was cheating on her and everything like that, when you find out things like that, this was the situation that happened for me that led me to me leaving. I wouldn't say completely ending everything, because I was pregnant at the time, but that is what led me to ending everything and really starting to see him for who he was the fact that somebody could literally look you in your face, look you in your eyes, tell you they would never ever cheat on you, tell you they would never ever do this to you, and then they are actively doing it, like spitefully doing it. That was wild. Like that was wicked. How do you sleep at night? So finding out about that, the thing that I did differently than Halle Bailey, and this is why I always say, if it ever needs to go there, I can take it there, because I have all the evidence, right? Of every conversation, everything, every wild situation, every email, every message, you know what I'm saying? Proving that he's the one that's deranged. Why? Because when he does things that are wrong, that are evil, that are spiteful, that are whatever it is, I never ever ever react. I never ever ever react. If you find out that a man is cheating on you, and this is what I did, okay? First and foremost, if you find out a man that is cheating on you, it should bring you some level of clarity and peace, because now you get to be free. Now you get to be free. Now you get to see this man for who he really is. I remember I literally prayed because I could just feel like something was wrong or off with the relationship, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And I prayed about it. I spoke to the universe, to my spirit guides, and I said, please show me what I need to see from this relationship that I am missing, because I can feel that there's something off and I need guidance right now. I remember that day. And it was the very next day that I found out that he was cheating through, of course, the woman that he was cheating with. Actually, was watching his kids at the time. Um, and they were over with me, and I was coming by to where he worked to pick up some money to take his daughters, to, go eat, just go do stuff. And when I was there, I saw that, there was a woman there, and I would see her a lot. And every time I saw her, she would always have this look in her eyes when she looked at me. And so that day, I decided to pull her to the side where he could see and have a conversation with her. A simple one, okay? And I was just honest. I was like, listen, I don't remember exactly what I said verbatim, but I was like, me and him are in a relationship. And for some time, I've been feeling like something is really off. And I would like to know, like, what's going on between you two, if there's anything going on between you two, or what's going on. And that's when she literally spilled everything. Everything. Okay. To where I'm like, oh, this guy has literally been sleeping with her the whole time he was with me. The whole time. And I said, okay, thank you for telling me that. And then I walked off. I didn't talk to her. I didn't talk to him. I got in the car and I left. And after that day, like, I didn't contact him. We didn't have no conversation. Like, I didn't feel the need to get explanations. I wasn't like, none of that. I was just like, okay, that's what it is then. That's cool with me. And I didn't say nothing. Because essentially when a man cheats on you, he's digging himself in a hole with you. Because he's the one doing immoral and ungodly things. So why would I be upset? You're the one who has to answer, for your crimes. Why would I be upset? I wasn't upset at all. But what did disturb me was his reaction to me moving on. Like, literally, like, I cut my emotional connection to him that day, or I would say my emotional investment into the relationship. And after that day, it was message after message after message going off, this is why you deserve this, you deserve to be cheated on. And, like, literally just blaming everything on me. Everything was my fault. Going off, going crazy, calling me back to back, all of that. But he wouldn't have done any of that if I fed into his narcissistic trap. He wouldn't have done any of that if I was the one going crazy and reacting and all of that. And that's the thing. They want you to overreact. They want you to pour into their BS. That's what they want you to do. So whenever you find out a man is cheating on you, always know that you are the one who's in power. You are the operant power. Okay? And them cheating on you doesn't have anything to do with you. It has to do with their insecurities and their low self-esteem, all of that stuff. So the way that you respond is by not like literally, you're good. I'm good. Matter of fact, life is better because I now get to get rid of you. Okay? And I think that is where, like, you know, this situation kind of, he wouldn't have been able to bring this up and be like, "Oh, she's crazy, she's not safe for our children," or whatever like that. Um, because I can remember times, and it's not just with this man, but it's literally like the man that you choose to be with as a woman, whatever he is, whatever kind of man that he is, the character that he has, the energy that he vibrates at, like whatever that is, you are going to magnify that. That's why when people try to say, "Oh, um, what everything he's trying to say about, oh, she was beating up on him, she scratched him, oh, she's like emotionally deranged and all of that," and how it's out of context. It is out of context because he's basically causing all of this. He's causing all of this. So yeah. Um that's what I have to say on this situation. Um it is, not an ideal situation, but I think it's important for women, Black women, to be aware of what a narcissistic man will do, and also how to be above that, how to be above narcissistic treatment from men and all of those things. It's also one of the reasons why I decided to offer Deeply Loved. So if you haven't enrolled into Deeply Loved, we're going to be getting started soon. And this is where I'm going to be equipping women with the tools to understand how to be above relationship dynamics like this. Okay? How to be above relationship dynamics like this. And oh, my daughter's calling me again. 1 second, y'all. Whew. Okay. My daughter asking me to do things for her. All right. So, what was I saying? Um so yeah, Deeply Loved. This is where we're going to be getting into how to be above all of this. Okay? How to be above all of this. You do not need to continue to live in these patterns of narcissistic abuse and everything like that. Okay? Now when I get into relationships and then I'm dating men, I can literally I can spot these things from a mile away. I can spot these things from a mile away. And the kind of men that you choose is very telling about your relationship to your feminine energy and how you feel about yourself. How you feel about yourself. So I'm sure that, like Halle Bailey and like a lot of women today, a lot of Black women who go through situations like this, we go through situations like this because we need to realize who we are. We need to realize the power in who we are, the beauty in who we are, the amazingness of who we are. As long as we continue to be ignorant to who we are, there's always going to be that man, right, to come in and activate your power and your sovereignty. This has to do with dark feminine energy 1000%. Okay? And tapping into your dark feminine energy 1000%. And yeah. Excuse me, y'all. Okay, so if you all have any questions or anything like that, now's the time. I'll put like the invite link in the chat. If anybody wants to say anything or share. But yeah, this is something that needs to change. Needs to change 100%. So I'll wait for a little bit to see if there's any questions. Oh Lord. Bloop. Okay, it looks like nobody has any questions. All right, so Deeply Loved, the 3-day immersion. We're going to be starting soon. If you are interested in signing up for that, make sure you click the link down below. We're going to be diving deep into all of the things that allow you to be deeply loved by a man, be in a relationship with a man that has the capacity to deeply love you. Narcissistic men do not have the capacity nor the emotional intelligence to love at all. Okay? They don't have it in them. They don't know or understand what it means to love. And that is why they treat feminine energy so poorly, because feminine energy represents love, represents the connection to the heart. So, yeah. All right, my loves, thank you so much for joining me in today's live video. Again, if there are any questions or comments, you can put them in the chat or you can leave a comment down below. And if anybody wants to click on the invite link and say something on the matter, now's your chance. Before I hop off. Yeah. Interesting. Let's see. Did I have anything else I wanted to say on this? No, but I think I'm going to go live again on another topic Um, just because I feel like going live again on another topic today. Um, because there's something else I want to talk about. So, um, yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, and click the link to enroll into Deeply Loved. I'm excited to see you all inside of the live 3-day immersion. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in my next live stream. Peace.